1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right.
1 to 3. Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. You guys got me? Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mic check, and I got the control. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5. All right, I'm gonna shut it off.
A few speakers here. My name is Bill Logan. I'm the Information Outreach Manager. We're going to have Kevin Van Ostenbridge, the County Commission Chair here for Manatee County speaking. Vanessa Baugh is here also. Dr. Scott Hopes, Manatee County Administrator, will speak after Kevin. Then we'll have the Manatee School Superintendent, Cynthia Saunders, followed by the Manatee County Sheriff, Rick Wells. And then we'll wrap things up with Steve Litschauer. He is the Deputy Director for Public Safety here with Manatee County. And we thank you all for your patience. We want to let you know if you have any issues with streaming this, we are also covering this on our Facebook and YouTube here in Manatee County. So without any further delay, let me introduce you to Commission Chair Kevin Van Ostenbridge.
Hello, good afternoon. Monday, September 26th, and it's a somber day today in Manatee County. This is a briefing from Manatee County on Hurricane Ian and its approach and our preparedness. Today with us, Dr. Scott Hopes, County Administrator, Sheriff Rick Wells, Steve Lichtauer, who is our Head of Public Safety, Cynthia Saunders, Superintendent of Manatee County Schools, and Commissioner Vanessa Baugh. Hurricane Ian does pose a clear and present danger to Manatee County, to people and to property. So as we brief you today on school closings, on shelters, and on evacuations, we urge you to heed our advice and to listen to the experts as they try to inform you as to the best way to protect yourselves and to protect your family. This is a fundamental role of government. And I want you to know that Manatee County employees prepare for this day year-round. And they have done a tremendous job preparing, and we are ready to meet the needs. I also want to thank Governor DeSantis for all the support from the state and any unmet needs that we may have, and the constant communication from that office. And then lastly, I do want to say that if we do see this worst case scenario play out that we are concerned about, I want people to know that Manatee County will be there after the storm to meet your needs with EMS and of course with our Sheriff's Department. If you are thinking about taking advantage of a disaster and committing crimes in the aftermath, I want you to know that the Florida National Guard, the Manatee County Sheriff's Department, and the Bradenton Police Department will be out in full force protecting people and property in the aftermath of this storm. We will maintain law and order. And with that, I'm going to turn this over to County Administrator Scott Hopes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for your attention. As we talk through this, this is the worst case scenario, but I will tell you, with each update from the National Hurricane Center, we are moving closer and closer to that worst case scenario. We can't repeat enough to take the storm seriously. Those of you that have lived in this county or the Tampa Bay area for decades are well aware that we often get reports of storms approaching, and through the act of God, we do not see the worst case scenario. Now you'll notice as the news continues throughout this day, people are remembering the last storm that hit Tampa Bay, which was 100 years ago. This could very well be that next 100-year storm. Be prepared to take action, especially if you are in the level A or B evacuation zones. This morning, we announced a mandatory evacuation for the level A zone and a voluntary and highly recommended evacuation for level B. So know the areas that you're in, know what level your evacuation area is. If you have any doubts, call 311. We've expanded the number of operators that are available for you. 311 if you are unsure of your evacuation level. We are working with the school district on storm shelter readiness, and following my comments, the superintendent will provide a list of those shelters which will be open effective 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Please do not go to a shelter tonight. They are not opening, they are preparing. Manatee County services and facilities will be shut down to the public beginning end of business today. We will conduct the county commission meeting that is scheduled for tomorrow morning. And then the administration building will shut down for the public immediately following the adjournment of that meeting tomorrow morning. No locations on shelters until we're ready. The superintendent's going to give you a list, but keep in mind, please, we will have plenty of shelter space. You do not need to go to the school parking lots this afternoon or tonight and wait until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. With that, I will turn it over to Superintendent Saunders to go through the processes that the schools are following to reopen the shelters. And then after the sheriff makes his comments, we'll be available for a brief period of time to answer any questions. Superintendent Saunders.
Thank you. As stated, we have 15 schools that have been identified that will be available for sheltering in the need of the storm. I'm going to go through the list, and these, as stated, also will begin opening at 8 o'clock tomorrow. All activities at school today remain in full force, with the exception of Nolan Middle. That will be our special needs shelter, and they have to start preparing for that today, even though it will not be open until tomorrow. So Nolan Middle is special needs. Braden River High School, and it is pet friendly. Manatee High School, it is pet friendly. Mills Elementary, it is pet friendly. Bayshore Elementary, Freedom Elementary, Gullett Elementary, Harvey Elementary, Lee Middle, Myakka Elementary, Miller Elementary, McNeil Elementary, Rogers Garden Elementary, Williams Elementary, and Willis Elementary. So the only ones that are pet friendly are the ones stated: Braden River High, Manatee High, and Mills. So those are our shelters. In addition, we have a board meeting scheduled for tomorrow evening. It will be canceled, and most likely our workshop Friday will also be canceled due to the event that all personnel will be staffed and working the shelters. We do not know how long schools will be closed, so the information we provided is stay tuned to the media. It will all be based on the impact of the storm, but schools and all school personnel and buildings are closed effective tomorrow, except those that will be working the shelter locations. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Rick Wells, the Sheriff of Manatee County. Just wanted to go over a few things. Beginning tomorrow at 6 p.m., the Sheriff's Office will go into a A-B rotation with no days off. That means all hands on deck. Deputies will be working throughout the clock, throughout the community, trying to make sure that everyone is safe and sound. We've already begun working with our partners at the school district to man the shelters, so we'll have at least 2 deputies at every shelter inside the county. What I want to stress is the fact that evacuating now while you have an opportunity is critical. When winds hit a sustained speed of 45 miles an hour, it's going to be very difficult for deputies to remain out on the roads and trying to help people through that crucial time. We're going to try our best to get to you, but the bottom line is we just may not be able to get to your location. So we are really begging you to evacuate once you have the order. Find a safe location for you and your family, and allow the deputies to continue to take care of the other needs that we have throughout the county. So I really can't stress to you how important that is. We are going to do our best to get to you, but bottom line is, if this storm hits, and it hits us hard, we may not be able to get to you, and that's just something that a position we would ask all of you not to put us in. Thank y'all.
Good afternoon. I would just like to remind those that are on the special needs registry or to use the special needs shelter, you must be registered beforehand. So if you have not already registered as a special needs patient, do that now so we can get you registered and approved by a physician. Citizens should make their final preparation now. The storm is slowing down, and we will feel the effects for a longer period of time. So the storm will be slower than initially anticipated. We have seen the flooding here recently. The water is saturated, so that brings some concern. Do not drive in high water. Do not drive in any roadway that you cannot see the road itself. Between the storm surge and the rain, it is dangerous to drive in high water. Please adhere to evacuation orders, as Dr. Hopes announced. Right now, the mandatory A, highly suggested B. You can go to mymanatee.org/weather, mymanatee.org/weather, to see your evacuation level and to view maps. If you're going to a shelter, you must take a cot or a sleeping bag, your personal items, and especially prescriptions. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., the EOC will go to a level 1 activation. So again, be prepared, decide if you're going to go somewhere where that might be, and follow the announcements through the media. I'll turn it over to Dr. Hopes.
Thank you, Deputy Director in Chief. There will be many meteorologists that talk with you this afternoon and this evening on the news with regarding evacuations. We need to put this in perspective. We are looking in the Tampa Bay area of a 10 to 15 foot storm surge, with some areas of northern Tampa Bay exceeding 15 feet. That is 15 feet above ground level. That is a tremendous amount of water. You do not want to decide to evacuate when you see water coming under the door of your home. Now is the time to prepare. Tomorrow morning is the time to evacuate to your safe place of choice, whether it's a friend that may be in Lakewood Ranch or a shelter. Please evacuate. This storm is very unique. As Chief Lischauer mentioned, it is slowing down. They expect the storm in current forecast to only move at 5 to 7 miles an hour from our south to the northern part of Pinellas County. Many people walk at that speed. A slow bicyclist bikes at that speed. We can expect tropical storm force winds and weather and hurricane force winds and weather for a period of time from around 2 a.m. Wednesday morning. The earliest may be 8 p.m. Tuesday evening through 2 to 3 a.m. Friday. 48 hours of hurricane or tropical storm force winds and rain and storm surge in a relentless fashion without a break in the current projections. So you want to get to a safe place to ride out this storm, and you want to go to that safe place sometime before sundown tomorrow. I cannot express that enough. We will not be able to help you after the weather begins to hit the tropical storm force winds and rain. So know your evacuation level. Please heed our orders and our recommendations. With that, we'll take a few questions.
Dr. Hope, do you anticipate having to make any other evacuation orders?
It is possible. Right now, B is voluntary, and that's based basically on the models that we've been provided on storm surge and not being able to access you if you're in trouble. On the island, I know many people on Anna Maria Island and Holmes Beach, and they said they've never had to evacuate. If you've ever wanted to try out following the mandatory order, now's the time to do it and just see how it plays out for you. This is not where I would take the risk.
And just to be clear, so folks should be hunkered down wherever they're going to ride out the storm by 8 p.m. tomorrow, correct?
Absolutely. By 8 p.m. or sundown tomorrow, the earliest projection for us currently, the earliest we can see tropical storm force winds and weather, they're saying is around 8 to 9 p.m. tomorrow night. So you want to be in that safe place with your loved ones, including your pets, by 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. Should it change, we will let you know. We are here throughout the night to ensure that you are safe, our community is protected, and to the best extent possible, we're protecting your property and your lives.
The equipment that you guys have out on Anna Maria, are you guys doing anything to make sure nothing happens to that during the storm?
There's a lot taking place with regards to that. There's staging of equipment so we can get out to the island. There are certain equipment that's at our beach patrol sites and things like that.
But the road construction equipment and.
They're working on that now. As you know, we've got a lot of construction at Coquina Key. Holmes Beach has 2 roads, and contractors today and tomorrow are going to be securing those materials and that equipment. In A, it's about 100,000 households, and including the B, I think we're looking at about 120,000 households. So it's a lot of movement, and people are starting to move.
100 and 120, so 220?
No. Including, I think we're looking at what, 120,000 households? 120,000 households combined A and B.
And if you don't leave when it's mandatory, I know you get in trouble. Is there anything in the law that forces you to evacuate?
No, if they want to take that risk, you know, they're grown adults. And once again, we're going to try to help them out, but there's going to become a time when we can't get there.
What time is that? How is it? What wind speeds?
45.
45 miles
At
per hour.
45, we're going to hunker down with everyone else. Deputies will be inside at that time.
And here at the EOC, when the winds hit that level, we bolt the doors. You're not leaving and you're not coming in. Remember too, please, all mobile homes, manufactured homes are in level A evacuation zone. Do not take a risk. This storm has a high probability of spinning off tornadoes. Those of you in Colony Cove and a few other areas in the past month, you've experienced damage, including total destruction of mobile homes with just microburst. This is a major Category 4 and Category 3 hurricane when it nears our area.
Do you have a set time of when you'll be shutting down the island, or is that the 45?
The island will be shutting down at sundown. You will not be able to get on the island. We are going to encourage you to get off of the island before sundown. Mandatory evacuation on the island tomorrow. Prepare today. If you're ready, leave today. But be sure that you are on your way off of the island. You only have 3 bridges to choose from. All right? Be on one of them before sundown. Around an hour after sundown, the water will be shut off to the island. That is because we have to protect our water system and our infrastructure. The water on the island has to be shut down by hand. We have to send utility workers out there to multiple points to shut off those valves. We will not be able to send them out there once the weather comes in. So before the earliest predicted arrival of tropical storm winds, the island's water will be shut off. It will not be turned back on until we verify that we can turn it on without losing all the water in our system.
How healthy is our electrical system?
The FPL and Peace River have done a great job over the past, 3-4 years since Irma, strengthening in areas. You notice they're putting up more substantial poles with, getting rid of the wood poles. A lot of undergrounding is taking place at utilities. Unfortunately, on the island, we haven't completed the undergrounding of utilities. We've been very fortunate with our power partners to strengthening the infrastructure for electricity. If you have generators, and hopefully you do when you return and you don't have power, my suggestion is do what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a break in about 30 minutes, and I'm going to go fill up some fuel cans, because your generators won't work if you don't have fuel. And remember, fuel comes in by ship. Guess what doesn't come into the ports during anticipated storms? Ships. So don't everybody go out at one time, because the lines will be long, but be thinking about getting fuel for your generators and things for when you return. And fuel your vehicles. I can tell you the county vehicles, we're telling employees, as soon as you get low, if you're near one of our fueling sites, top it off, because we're trying to maintain as high a level of fuel in our infrastructure as possible.
What's the process like in getting the schools prepared to be shelters?
The teams will go in, and the superintendent can verify that. The teams will go in once the children leave today. Nolan is the one that takes the longest period of time. Dr. Bensey at the health department informed us earlier that she needs about 4 hours to prepare for Nolan because of the special needs status of it. Our teams will be out there within about 30 minutes of the first patient arriving. The school will switch over to the generator system so that they will be on uninterrupted power from the first patient until we clear the shelter after the storm. Any other questions?
You mentioned 15 shelters, specifically Nolan with the special needs. What qualifies as a special need? And you mentioned like registration needed. Where should people go to find the registration?
There's a pre-registration. Those are your patients that are mostly dependent on electricity for everything from oxygen generators to infusion pumps, basic, life sustaining systems. Yes, and most of those patients are aware of it. There's a considerable amount of outreach that takes place. After Irma, we learned a lot, and we have been very aggressive at getting our residents who have special needs to register in advance. That allows us to call them, make arrangements to pick them up. I will tell you, it hasn't been activated yet, but I was contacted a couple of hours ago by a representative from Uber who has offered free Uber rides for individuals that have special needs that need to go to the special needs shelter, and I believe any shelter. So stay tuned. We will be announcing it once that gets worked out. But we now have many community partners that are working with us in a collaborative way to help our residents get to a safe place to ride out this storm. This storm is coming. It is coming. And it is going to have an impact on the Tampa Bay region like we have not seen in 100 years. Short of God evaporating it and making it go away overnight. Thank you. We will have updates to you as they arrive. Expect a full day tomorrow, and Bill will let you know if we have information that needs to get out, and we will let you all know. All right, thank you for being here. Thanks for getting the word out.